Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another movie commentary. We're doing a Disney live action remake today. Not a recent one, but they were doing these years before that. We're looking at 101 Dalmatians, a live action remake.
Hey, Shira, are you looking forward to doing Dumbo?
No.
No, okay.
Burn it with
So
fire.
yeah,
Believe it or
this
not, folks,
movie
this was made back in a day when the term live-action Disney remake did not make somebody shiver in horror at the thought of desecrating a classic. No,
so wait, this movie.
this is actually considered one of the good ones.
But yes, go
So
ahead.
this
George.
movie was directed by Stephen Herrick, who previously helmed Critters, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure,
Nice.
Don't Tell Bob the Babysitter's Dead, The Mighty
What?
Ducks, The Three Musketeers, and
Ooh.
Mr. Holland's Opus.
Well, you have to
Nice.
understand, Shira, that back in the late 80s, early 90s, it was kind of a thing with comedies where they would have these incredibly wacky situations. Like, oh
And
no,
it was,
the babysitter's dead. Better let not mom find out.
And it was written by John Hughes, who in the past had had such a lot of successes with The Breakfast Club, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Home Alone, and Uncle Buck, among others. However, it was around this point that his writing quality had started to suffer, for lack of a better word. I mean, now the following year he would make Home Alone 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, thankfully, I can vouch that this is one of his good films still, so it's not like he had completely lost it.
I
Oh, yeah,
mostly
okay,
remember
Okay, if by the
Cruella
end I don't
because-
enjoy this movie, Jover, I'll blame you.
Well, the reason I remember Cruella, Shira, is because Glenn Close is hamming it up at the camera like mad. This
Yeah,
is the movie that
so-
got her in the league.
But
So-
that was my point really. So it's like I haven't seen this movie for a very long time, so we'll see how the rest of it
neither,
holds. We
actually.
see how the rest of it holds up.
Yeah,
I haven't
Oh.
seen this in like 20 years.
might as well. Why not? Let's see.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, start before the classic Disney logo. Shiro, do the countdown, please.
All right, 3, 2, 1, click.
I'm actually,
Ah.
yeah, it's like
Oh,
that.
what's this logo?
Home Alone 2 was the first time where there was. Don't get me wrong, I like Home Alone 2, but I hate that they completely reversed Kevin's character development from the first one by having him now suddenly not like his family again. You know.
Well, I mean, his
So
family are a bunch of shit, so.
that regardless, Dwebs, it's still not good writing to regress a character's development.
To be fair, his family got regressed too, and that's the reason why he was annoyed
yeah.
by them again.
And guess what, Chova? I don't like that either. So.
A Stephen
a great
Herrick
Oxford
film.
Who did the music for this? Oh, Michael Kamen.
I don't know.
Of
who that
course,
is.
Glenn Close gets
He's
popular.
mainly famous for composing the first 3 Die Hard movies.
Oh, okay.
Jeff Daniels.
Oh, neat.
Well, Dwebs,
Okay,
it's a
I'm
Disney
actually-
movie. Disney can afford anybody, remember?
Okay, I
Yeah.
know. I know. In some circles, Jeff Daniels is known for his comedy, like in
Oh,
Dumb and
love him.
Dumber. But I've mostly known him recently for being in dramatic
Oh,
movies like
guys.
The Martian.
Well,
Guys,
look at that, Dwebs. They're portraying London realistically. It's all great.
That's because we're actually filming it.
Yeah, exactly.
by the way,
It's
guys, I
being
got a
filmed,
treat for
not
you. Hugh
drawn.
Laurie's in this
Oh, Hugh
film.
Laurie's in this
You
movie.
Laurie.
Yep.
He's one of the bandits. You see, Dwebs, this was before Americans started giving Hugh Laurie roles that are worthy of him.
I'm pretty sure that dog has a concussion now.
Okay,
Mark
okay, okay.
Williams. Is it the same Mark Williams who plays Ron's dad? Yeah, it is the same one.
Yep. We
A lot
could-
of actors I'm recognizing so far.
yeah,
I
well,
wonder how hard it took to train the dog to do that.
quite a bit of training. Anyway, this is Pongo with his
Oh.
owner.
Is that the guy who played?
That's Jeff Daniels.
Oh, never mind then.
Playing Roger Dealey.
Jeff Daniels plays Man Who Is Asleep.
Seriously, from this perspective, he looked like the actor who plays Garfield's owner in the first live-action movie.
But yeah, okay.
I do wonder how long it took to train this dog because the kind of stuff he's doing is the kind of stuff some assistance dogs would be trained to do.
Maybe that's what they
Wait,
did. They
a
actually
dog
got
has a
No,
log
no,
on.
Dalmatians typically aren't assistance
So wait,
dogs.
a dog has his own login info.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that bit I can't explain. I can explain the rest of this, but I can't explain that.
Guys. Dogs are smarter than we give them credit for.
Dalmatians are
that's
quite a
all.
smart breed.
It's like that. It's like that parrot in Home Alone 3.
Tell that to my dog, Jova. My dog is fucking dumb as a brick.
Do you have a beagle?
No, it's a Yorkshire.
Okay.
It's pronounced Yorkshire, by the way.
Yeah. I'm not native Englishman, so cut me some slack.
Okay.
And this, I can't remember the name of the female dog. What was her name?
Perdita.
Yeah, that's who we have here.
Yeah.
With her owner, Anita.
Brian Capron plays TV news reporter.
One thing that I do like about this remake is that it actually does flesh out the characters better than the animated classic. It's not to say that the
You mean the
animated
humans?
Yes, both the humans and the dogs.
Hey, Shere Khan. Oh, wait, sorry. That remake is still years and years away.
This movie predicted it.
Okay, I'm pretty sure no character in this movie sounds as half asleep as... Actually, no, sorry, I got the roles mixed up, sorry. Ignore me.
Oh, it's funny you mention it predicting each year because technically 2 years before this movie, there was a live-action Jungle Book done by Disney. So yeah, like in, the animated film 101 Dalmatians, the dogs do communicate with each other.
To give you an idea, Jova, my dog can't even do a simple thing as fetch a stick.
Damn.
That's how dumb she is.
So what's an American doing in London?
Simple whips. The directors didn't bother trying to actually get British actors aside from Hugh Glory, I guess. And I don't know.
Oh, and Mark Williams.
Which is weird. I mean, come on, couldn't you get British actors to play these roles?
Well, wait. Actually, Jolie Richardson is English.
Okay, but what about Jeff Daniels isn't, and he's one of the primary male. One of the primary human. Oh, God, that looks. What is that? That looks like one of those early '90s. That's one of those '90s CD-ROM games.
Is that what Titan AE looks like?
Well, Pedro, you're kind of in luck.
He actually has a budget to him.
That's kind of what he's making, Pedro. See, in this version, Roger is a video game designer.
He's not a very good one, then.
Well,
I guess him being a musician wasn't hip enough with the kids. What do kids like? They like video games, don't they? Let's make them a video game
environments are engaging.
And the kids tearing it apart.
Well, damn.
Wow.
Well, you're a little shit.
Share your thoughts, please.
You're a little shit.
Aside from that, do you think he's right that even girls won't like that game?
I'm not sure anyone would with how it moves. I mean, potentially people could like it. It just runs like a PowerPoint presentation.
But yeah, like I said, kids. What do kids today like? They like video games. They like their Super Nintendos, don't they? Okay, let's make him a video game designer then. His pianos are lame.
Gee, I wonder who this person is.
I was about to say.
I wonder who the villain is. Of all the characters in this movie, it could be just about anyone. No, but seriously, I think it's this woman.
Oh yeah, totally this woman.
With a fur.
Do you really want
Is
to
it
trail
how
your skills on the
how the
floor?
one that gets
Or
the top
coat?
billing is the villain?
Well, that's
she's
kind
the
of
best actress of this movie.
that's kind of the thing. Cruella de Vil has kind of always been arguably the most recognizable character from 101 Dalmatians.
Yeah.
Aside from the
best
Dalmatians
character,
themselves.
as far as I'm concerned, she's the only one who has a genuine motivation, incredible passion, and goes out of her way to fucking get it no matter the cost. So you can't help but respect that.
I mean,
Yeah, this is the thing. I miss villains like.
And yeah, I get that she's trying to kill puppies. I get that, but
hey, that just adds to the villainy.
But at the very least, she has the fucking time of her life doing it. You have to respect that.
Swibs. Keep this in mind. In the original, Cruella de Vil is so driven that she is willing to try and crash a truck off a cliff even possibly taking herself with it, just to get those puppies on the chance that she can make the fur coat from it.
Never mind the fact that there are plenty of Dalmatians in the world. Why these specific ones?
Well,
she's Eve.
Okay. To be fair, actually, this movie does explain why. It's sort of about vengeance against Anne and Anita.
Anita.
Against Anita and Roger for refusing to sell her the puppies, and
So
being
we've got
the vein.
we've got an American trying to be a Brit.
Well, okay. It wasn't the original, but they never explained why she was dead set on those particular puppies in general.
So basically, she's just the pettiest person that was ever born. That's the basic gist of it.
Well, honestly, I have to wonder if Devils are just raised that way.
Apparently.
Oh boy!
In that case, Cruella, you might want to see a doctor.
Okay, just wait till 102 Dalmatians. That line will take on a whole new meaning.
I miss villains like this where they love what they do. Like, they know they're evil. They're completely reprehensible, and they love it. Like, in an era of tragic backstory redemption villains, regardless of what they've done kind of thing that's going on, I want more of this back. I want these cartoonishly
Shira, you do know they're probably going to try and do that in the upcoming Cruella film.
That's actually what I was going to ask. How are they going to do the
bear in mind,
film?
it's a prequel to this movie.
It's okay, I'll just watch this. I'll watch this instead.
Wait. Did they actually confirm that it's a prequel to this movie?
Apparently.
So
I do remember hearing something like that.
By the way, is Glenn Close even in it?
No, Stone's
remember, it's
playing...
a prequel.
Yeah. Emma Stone's playing younger Cruella DeVille.
We don't know how old the character's gonna be, roughly. So.
That said, how can you make a whole prequel film about... Well, actually, no, to be fair, it's Cruella DeVille. I'm sure some wacky stuff must have happened to make her as insane as she is now, but I don't know. Unlike Maleficent, I'm not quite sure that you can do a lot with it.
It's mostly because, Shiroi, writers are taught to try to make their characters
hold
complex,
on.
as Aaron said.
I love this. Glenn Close encompasses everything you would hate about your boss in a particular lifetime.
Sure.
She's condescending, she's draining, she occasionally takes credit for Anita's ideas here and there, but she's... Well, okay.
Jesus.
Yeah.
She has these outbursts throughout it.
Exactly. She acts nice 1 second, and then can be a vicious...
Don't you dare question me. I'm the best actress in this movie. What are you? What are you, a puny extra?
I love the pointy shoulders.
One thing I do like also is that it's implied that she sort of has a bit of a clinical obsession with spots. Something that will get actually really drawn up on in 102 Dalmatians.
Okay.
Wow.
But you're not wearing fur right now.
That's beside the point.
Trust me, Dwibs, if she could wear fur all the time, she would.
It's like George Costanza, who wanted to wear velvet all the time.
Oh, that line.
But I don't have a dog.
Oh, Glenn Close.
Well, I mean, how else are you going to deliver a line like that?
Holy crap. But yeah,
Glenn Close alone makes this movie worth it.
Yeah.
So here's a bit of a twist. Instead of
that's what I was wondering. What the hell are the Dalmatians in this movie?
Oh, don't worry, Dwibs. The Dalmatians get their fair share of screen time. It was love at first sight for the dogs.
Do the Dalmatians talk in this film?
No. That said, though, what is actually good about these is that the Dalmatians still can actually express character without needing to talk in this.
Yeah, it's kind of like Warhorse in the sense that they get as much out of these animals as they possibly get visually.
Again, I have to say, the animal training in these movies is pretty amazing.
It is actually, yeah, I agree. That's the thing. Sure, you have to understand that as times move on, writers get in writing classes. Aspiring writers are taught and advised more and more to make their characters more and more complex, which is why they typically go for that angle rather than the cartoonish simple villain. You know.
Oh,
Except
snap.
some writers could. Sorry, not some writers. Some characters are. They come off worse when they're made like that.
Well, obviously, it depends on what you're making. Like, if you're making something like this, which is clearly meant to be more of a comedy,
Okay.
of course. If you're trying
I mean,
to make
if you're going
like...
for if you're going for a different take on an old piece of material, then that'd be one thing. I mean, She-Ra's a good example of.
Okay.
Dribs, wasn't Maleficent supposed to be a new take on classic material, like you said?
A good one.
Okay. Well, okay, at the very least, the fact that the Crow movie is supposed to be a prequel to this movie doesn't mean that they'll try and make her some misunderstood hero unlike Maleficent, I guess.
Hopefully, at least.
I mean...
I wouldn't put it past them.
Well, okay, that's the thing. If Crow's supposed to be a prequel to this film, how are they going to, make Crow, of all people, look like a sympathetic hero, considering, considering the stuff she does in this duology?
Mm-hmm. Yep. No, that's true, Shiva. Obviously, that doesn't. Obviously, the same rule doesn't apply to every character. I'm not saying that. It's the thing is when it comes to creating original villains. That's what I mean. When it comes to creating original villains, writers tend to just go for the more complex area because that's what they're taught in writing classes. That's the best way to go about things. But go ahead, Joe.
It's gonna be interesting. When you know what this means, guys? This means that Emma Stone is going to be younger Glenn Close.
Uh-huh. I mean, I'm looking forward to that.
No, really?
Look at it this way. Look at this way, Shiroi. In this very same year that this movie came out, Disney Animation gave us one of their most complex villains.
Mm-hmm.
What film came out in '96?
Hunchback of Notre Dame with
okay.
Rollo. Yeah.
I thought it was 1997. Or am I getting it?
96. 97 was Hercules.
Okay. Oh yeah. How can I mix up gloomy story about a hunchback with a comedy take on ancient Greece?
Well, I love both movies.
Yeah. Disney were definitely in a good spot during the Renaissance
era.
Well,
Pedro, I know the Greeks didn't like that film.
Well, true, but it's not like the. I just think that there's nothing necessarily wrong with making a comedy that happens to be inspired by ancient Greece. To be honest. I mean, nobody's watching Hercules and thinking, "Oh yeah, this is how Greek mythology is." Like, come on. Oh boy. I find it interesting how this dog is so well trained, but it's still disobedient. Interesting.
Oh, well, Pedro, that's because Pongo's in love.
I get that, but...
Love overpowers a lot of senses, even in the animal kingdom.
Whoa. Lady, can we try and solve this without violence, please?
She did warn him twice. Oh my god, this.
Yep, that's a she, all right.
So Anita is played by Jolie Richardson, who in the past has been in such stuff as
how did you
King
mix up
Ralph.
How did you mix up these two dogs? I can easily tell the difference, but whatever.
Yeah, he was seeing.
I mean, to be fair, I have a bit of a hard time telling who's who.
Well, I mean, we live in England. Of course the water's filthy.
Yeah.
Okay, have you guys... I haven't seen it. Have you guys seen Dumb and Dumber?
No, but I've heard it's a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen clips of it.
Because again, I can't remember exactly what he's like as a comedic actor, but I know he's very good. He's a very good dramatic actor from stuff like The Martian.
Oh, Jeff
And
Daniels
he did a
is
good
fine.
job with what he had to work with in Steve Jobs.
Oh, Jeff Daniels is definitely good with, comedy. It's just that, he moved on to more dramatic acting because I guess that's where his passion took him.
I mean, he's better at being dramatic than Jim Carrey.
Not for nothing, but Jim Carrey does plenty of great dramatic roles. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, for example. But
How many films is that compared to?
Well, I can.
That's not really his fault because he got typecast.
Yeah, even Jim Carrey himself has kind of gone on to say he doesn't care for the typecasting.
Because I've heard from people who've seen them that his his more serious acting is actually very good. The problem is once he became known for, that particular, his particular antics, he got stuck in that.
I will say that I actually do prefer Jolly Nice Human. Yeah. Jolly Nice Human.
That said, though, I do like how we do get more character development for Roger and Anita, seeing as how they were kind of just there in the animated movie. I mean, it's not, it was like, it was bad per se, but it is nice to have everyone fleshed out.
I do prefer the way they meet in the original, though. Like the way the two dogs make them collide and everything. It was overall, I thought, was
Sure.
more charming. I thought that, and even funnier. Whereas the whole him mistaking the dogs, I don't know.
They're probably trying to add, I guess, a little real to this.
I
don't
guess,
know.
but this movie's already, this movie is already being somewhat comedic with its tone anyway. You might as well take advantage of that.
Yeah.
Daisy Daisy. That's an interesting choice for a song.
Mm-hmm.
These dogs suddenly become poorly trained in the face of shipping.
Your turn in the drink now.
And now they match.
So now we can both go to dry off.
And now they get to bond over the fact that they both got wet.
Well, Paige, when you say it like that, it sounds absolutely
Yeah, when you put it that way.
Hey, I was talking about the river. I don't know what you're thinking, Lips.
It's...
Hey, Jova said it too.
I've just been smiling in the background. You're practically married.
Whoa!
Especially these two.
Yeah, they're definitely hugging face a lot.
We're right here,
I get the feeling that training dogs for movies is a very hard thing to do.
I guess it depends on the dog.
Another cup of marriage.
Subtle.
Oh.
Real subtle, dude.
I didn't know that you guys also called team marriage over there.
Yes, so of course, Jova. After all, it was a common known fact that round here, I always ask for, around here when you want to give someone a cup of coffee, you say to them, "May I have a mug of divorce, please?"
Hello, woman that I just met. Hello. Yeah, this is classic Disney, all right.
I'll take back my comment about the realism aspect of this movie.
So yeah, we only just met, but might as well get married. So there you go.
Our dogs are in love. Let's get married.
Whoa, love is really contagious today.
Shit, the kissing already?
Wait, guys!
Well, if this movie
well,
isn't taking itself
I
seriously, might
see-
as well just don't take it either.
I see.
Oh, they are getting married too.
I see the passions of love burn their clothes too. Literally.
Symbolism, I guess. I don't know.
Wow, that they're married already.
Well, that's how it is. In the original film, we kind of skimmed over them meeting and getting married as well, so that's kind of how it is as well.
For as much as Anita and Roger are, technically important characters, the main focus is still mainly on Cruella de Vil and the dogs.
Yeah.
So you can only do so much with them before, it becomes not about the dogs.
Question, Joba, when marriage ceremonies over in the States, do they do the whole in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost?
It depends on what style of marriage you want, but yeah. It also depends on the speech that the priest gives.
If I ever get married, I prefer it to be, rather sweet but quick. Like
I'm actually
do you want to
wondering
marry him?
now.
Yes. Do you want to marry her? Yes. Go ahead, kiss.
Mhm.
I'm actually wondering right now how the Disney Plus Lady and the Tramp remake came out because I haven't seen that one yet.
Oh, I forgot
I've
about
heard
that.
it's not very good.
Oh,
Yeah, I've
really?
heard that too. Yeah, but I haven't.
Oh,
actually...
and of course, plenty of dogs.
Well, Jova, that seems to be the current trend with these remakes, sadly.
Shoot, I mean, from the trailers, it looked like it was going to be potentially good. How do you ruin Lady and the Tramp, even?
Well, Jova, Dumbo also looked fine in the trailers. We all know how that turned out.
True.
Well, I haven't seen it.
Heck.
Trust me, you're better off.
Heck. With Lion King, we literally went from being hyped for that film because initially the first trailer looked good to...
Except for
the
people like
actual
me
release.
who didn't care for the original film either, but yeah. Anyway, it's time to introduce Hugh Glory and his assistant, I guess.
Now, a lot of people don't remember this, but Hugh Laurie is a pretty great comedian when he is said to
Watch,
be.
yeah.
So we have House and Mr. Weasley. Wow, I guess Mr. Weasley had to turn to crime to support his family every once in a while.
Before he
So,
was Dr. House, he was a famous British comedian, yes. Go ahead.
So Dr. House and Mr. Weasley are bumbling sidekicks.
Mm-hmm. You never seen him with Rowan Atkinson, Dibs?
A couple of times, yeah.
Oh, there you go. Then you should But then again, I'm guessing Dr. House is your preferred role of his.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's not even playing a Brit in that one.
Oh my god, you idiot.
True, but there is a moment where he's playing an American pretending to be a British.
Oh boy.
So...
Well, he told you not to.
Yeah.
Oh, and he killed them. Okay.
I like how he's keeping all this stuff in a casket. What looks like a casket?
Well, he's got to keep he's got to keep the supplies well maintained.
And yet that's the thing. 6 years later, his actor would have to say lines like "Diagon Alley" and stuff. Well, plus he played a Danish guy in Red Dwarf 8 years before, so yeah.
How dare you not marry to... Did you love Anita or something? Why are you
Well,
mad at this?
it's kind of implied that she heavily relies on Anita in, well, not quite a lesbian way, but totally a lesbian way, if you get what I mean.
Didn't she say earlier on, like, the whole industry thing of marriage is a career killer or something?
Not
Pretty
totally
much.
like a lesbian, but totally like a lesbian. Joe the Hex in 2020. Okay, then. What does that even mean?
let me put it like this. She's okay. She's probably the kind of person who acts like a lesbian but doesn't realize it.
Shiro, could you explain to me what the fuck is this guy talking about?
I'm going to say one thing. Her nails are too long. That is all I'm saying.
Exactly.
What does that mean?
Pedro, those nails would...
I want to know this. Jova, continue.
Well, let's just say the nails would dig in way too much and draw blood.
I get the feeling I have a lot. This is completely lost on me.
Foreplay, Pedro.
Anyway.
Foreplay would be too dangerous. Anyway, you remember that tiger that was mentioned from before? Here's what became of it.
Yeah. I love how Hugh Glory in this movie looks like a wet bandit, aka one of the bad guys from Home Alone.
Also, nice Snow White reference.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if there was ever a British remake of Home Alone, I'd have Hugh Laurie play Marv.
Totally. Although Marv's technically the dumb one.
And of course,
We used
this
to say,
actress
we used to
is...
say Hugh Laurie has to play Brady people.
And of course, this
True.
actress is this actress is always in Disney in these cheat. I don't want to say lesser, like the less mainstream Disney movies as either a grandma or a maid. Like seriously.
Well, I
Always
guess it's
here.
fitting that
She's just like that British guy that seems to be in everything, but you never figure out who he is.
Jim Broadbent.
AKA Slughorn. Also,
He's still trying to make the game.
hey, at least he's got the frame rate.
Dude, CD-ROM games are only a fad. Trust me. Make a platformer, or in fact, this is 1996, so make a 3D platformer. Those are all the rage now.
I have to say, though, the graphics do look pretty good for that
Yeah, it's
kind of
clearly
game.
making an FMV game. The problem is FMV games are literally, at the time of this movie's release, were literally about to completely implode because of.
Well, Command and Conquer had FMV cutscenes.
Wait a minute,
No,
I got
that doesn't count. I mean, an FMV game, a game where the FMVs are basically the entire game.
Wait a
The whole
minute.
point of the game.
I got it. Roger, call up this Don Bluth guy. I hear he's got something in mind for this little arcade cabinet.
Unfortunately, at the time he was busy making, I think, Troll in Central Park.
Oh,
Anastasia.
God.
Well, this is 1996, so Anastasia, I think.
Anastasia.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, okay. For as much as that film is not exactly historically accurate, I still would consider Anastasia one of his good films.
Yeah, it's fine for what it is.
I have to say, though, the actress they got to play the nanny looks a lot like the actual nanny from the animated classic.
Yeah, and like I said, Jova, this woman is always playing these kinds of roles in movies everywhere I see her. Oh, and here's another cliche. The woman faints because she thinks something is horrible. She's afraid of something.
No.
Obviously.
It's because the dog is pregnant. She fainted at the news.
It's like the Kevin faints.
So, get this, both Anita and Perdita are pregnant.
Wow, it's amazing how both the dogs and their owners are in complete physical sync.
I know,
Like,
right? Like, jeez.
They marry at the same time, they get pregnant at the same time. By the way, guys, did you know that Cruella de Vil is the bad guy? Or the villain, sorry?
Yeah.
Just
Hey, Michael
didn't realize.
Caine's score is giving me those hints.
Yeah, I have to say, I really do dig the soundtrack.
Again, this movie is clearly being intentionally cheeky and like yeah, you know exactly what this is. We're not even gonna bother trying to pretend that this is anything more than what it is.
Also, somebody must have had a lot of fun when coming up with Glenn Close's wardrobe for this movie.
Clearly. But Shiroi, Cruella wants to kill doggos.
Therefore, she is evil.
Oh, she's burp. I guess I'll do the joke later.
Implying that.
Might as well address that. Oh, that's right. No, I'll wait. Well, can't you just, plan some kind of, girls' night out or something? Like, that just because she's married, that doesn't mean you have to stop seeing each other.
I get the feeling Cruella doesn't like to share.
Gee, what gave you that idea, Jova?
Wait, he is?
Damn.
Let me put it this way, Dwibs. He thinks he's good at it, just like Sierra thought that the FMV games were going to be the next big thing, and we all know how that turned out.
Oh.
Oh, hold on, I'll explain later. What is this? You actually have a life? What madness is this?
Of course
Okay,
you do.
Okay, Miss DeVille, you're starting to come across as a stalker and an obsessive compulsive person. You might want to.
Would you believe
leave
that?
my house.
Would you believe that this is sane compared to how crazy she's gonna get in 102 Dalmatians?
Oh, I can imagine. I mean, she failed. Considering how she failed miserably in this movie, I'm assuming she would go completely nuts.
Yes. So consider this her sane period.
Yeah.
Oh, are you talking about how she is in the second movie? Because, woof, boy.
Yeah.
But
So where's the So what about this performance exactly got Glenn Close in the league?
Well, didn't you just see it earlier? How she was just literally screaming.
Yes, but I'd also like a verbal explanation.
Well, the fact that she's always having at the camera at all time.
I guess that people like to charisma because that's what I'm getting for this. Plus, outside of the hamminess, she definitely can act. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Oh no, Glenn Close is an amazing actress.
Well,
I'll
be honest,
important question.
I haven't really seen Glenn Close in anything except Guardians of the Galaxy.
Wait, she was in that?
Yeah, she was.
Who was she?
She was one of the Federation commanders.
Oh. Wait, hold on. Dwebs, you've seen Glenn Close. Haven't you watched Hook?
Yeah, she was in Hook, yeah.
Dwebs? Guess he's burbed.
Dwebs is taking a vow of silence.
Mm-hmm.
But... Oh, there he is.
Dwebs, you've seen Hook, right?
I have, but it was a while ago.
Then that means you have seen Glenn Close, because Glenn Close is in that movie.
I can't even remember much of it all that well.
She's the pirate who gets put into the blue box. I know, it's an interesting role.
But Shiroi, Cruella wants to kill doggos. 101 of them, in fact. So
why that specific number?
Oh, that actually gets a bit of an explanation. Well, that's sad. Well, Pongo, there's the corpse of your own born. Oh?
I find it interesting how the dog is smaller than its owner.
That kind of was always the implication of the original tale of 101 Dalmatians. That the dogs really were the smarter ones. Oh?
Well, they say dogs are better with this kind of thing. I don't know. But...
Let's see if he can. Aww.
So I guess it is 15.
See, it's Fine.
Aw, it's adorable.
So I'm guessing, Joe, by the end of this game, the game he's making becomes this big smash hit, just like his song in the original became a big record seller.
We'll see.
I mean, I guess that would explain why he's not in the second one. Because he's lucky to be alive, get it?
Imagine finding out that's why you're named that. I mean...
Yeah.
Daddy, why am I called lucky? Because you nearly died, son.
Yes.
You were dead temporarily.
Yes, Lucky. He tends to be one of the more popular puppy Dalmatians across the franchise. Although surprisingly,
So go on.
Surprisingly, he is not the main protagonist of 101 Dalmatians 2. No, that one is Patch of all characters.
Question, guys. Have you seen the 101 Dalmatians cartoon?
Which
From the
one?
late
There are
90s.
two of them.
The new one?
Oh,
From the late 90s.
yeah,
Oh,
I saw that
90s,
one.
I haven't, no.
I don't remember, but I think isn't the sequel animated movie kind of based around that or something? I don't
It
know.
is.
No,
It
no,
is.
not
Oh.
really. Basically,
Well,
it was...
Well, actually, James, it is kind of based around, I mean, just like in the TV series, the family do go to, a farm.
Oh.
Oh, right on time with the clap of thunder.
Basically, the cartoon was partly created by the guy who created dogs.
Anita! I need someone who can comb my hair.
Yeah, clearly. You got married and now I don't have anyone to comb my hair.
There you go, Devs. See, this is why she joined the league. There you go, see.
I love how she said, "Oh, the devil, take it."
Are you not suspicious of your boss right now?
What are you talking about, Shiwa? She clearly looks sane.
Well, sure. Maybe she's hung around her boss so much that she's used to this behavior.
Mr.
She's
Bill,
just-
I'm afraid I'm gonna have to issue a restraining order because you're scaring me right now.
Video games, bro.
But don't you see? Well, but of course, Shiro. Don't you know that video games cause children to become violent?
Oh, you're
God.
one of those Karens.
Just 500 quid.
Wow, not stingy at all, are you, Corella?
It's Roger. It's like a deal with the devil.
Only £7,500, though. I mean,
I'm not sure how
much.
much Dalmatian puppies are worth. Oh, Jesus.
Ah,
Can she control thunder or something? Jesus.
Don't yell at me.
Seedwebs, I'm guessing you've got your answer by this point.
Now here's another interesting thing. Instead of it being Roger who says the final no, this time they have Anita stand up to Corella as her boss.
I feel like that's better because she is her boss, so I feel like it hurts more coming from Anita.
Yeah.
Also, Jova, you're right. Her hair is basically lightning rods.
Oh god. She's not the least bit happy.
yeah, even climbing up and smoking. You just leave Mr. Weasley and house there.
Oh, well, it's okay. They got
What
their
did they
own
do
car.
to you?
It's okay. They got their own car.
What did House botch your surgery and did
Oh,
Mr.
look,
Weasley fail to
Aristocats.
repair it?
One of the most boring Disney movies. Ugh.
Apparently the Dalmatians agree with you, Pedro.
Yeah, maybe that's why they're changing the channel.
Oh, hey! Homeward Bound!
But they are, Pedro. the writers and directors of this movie feel the same way, apparently.
I forgot Homeward Bound was a Disney movie.
Disney own a lot of movies that, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they've forgotten some of their own
I'll
catalog.
have to pick that one at one point.
Also, sure, you're a fan of Homeward Bound?
Sorry, 1 second. Could you repeat that?
You a fan of Homeward Bound?
It was a childhood favorite.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the general consensus of the movie was.
I'm not quite sure either. Oh, Dipstick! Remember that. Dipstick actually does return in the sequel. Oh, Fidget, you're gonna be so famous when they name a spinner after you. Very aptly named.
So yeah, it's like I said, the basic motivation that they introduce with this remake is that Cruella is the pettiest person that has ever been born.
Except they upped it to, like, okay, they upped it by 11 in this one. Like, okay, basically...
Well, yeah.
Yeah, basically, she goes from being, you know, a colleague of Anita's to now being Anita's insane, quote-unquote, friend/boss who cannot handle so much as Anita getting married to the point where she goes absolutely blood-hungry.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
It's Home Alone,
What?
yeah.
I just had a thought.
What?
What if the prequel to this movie that they're making? Well, obviously they're not going to do that because it's Disney and they're going to keep it family friendly.
You think yeah?
But I just had a thought.
What?
It would make complete sense if the prequel to this movie was it so that secretly Cruella has been in love with Anita this whole time, but she's never been able to properly confess her feelings to her because she's her boss, and that might be considered a big no-no.
It's inappropriate.
You know?
and that's why she's so completely
Hung on to Anita.
I just came up with your synopsis.
Okay. Okay. First,
please mail me $10 million to the following email. Thank you.
You know, I could actually see that being a thing. I mean, again, the way Cruella acts is very possessive of Anita.
I mean, obviously, Disney's not going to tackle the whole, boss between employee relationship thing because that's family friendly,
Well.
Also, Nanny can kick ass.
But oh yeah, she can. Well,
Kind of.
She's doing her best against two full-grown men.
Although at the end of the day, they are two grown men, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
She tried.
Well, Pedro, think about it though. Disney like to go the whole woke direction, so yeah, they might actually do that.
Well, true, but no, that's more so in terms of the whole,
And in terms of the whole boss
they do it in other ways than that, though.
Well, to be fair, Michael, in terms of the whole boss and employee relationship thing, that's tame compared to what Maleficent does, and Maleficent's supposed to be a movie for the family as well.
I guess.
Damn, that was Cold House.
Well,
yeah, at this point, he looks like House when he was in his when he was at his lowest point.
Whoa, yeah. House had more hair then?
That's what happens when you put your fingers in a dog's face.
Except he actually has a British accent in this one. Well, actually, Joe, House at his lowest point didn't have that much hair. Because by the time season 6 rolled around, he started shaving his hair.
Well, that's what I said. Except he has hair.
Hmm.
Yeah, the dogs don't like you. I don't know, Jasper. So just in case you hear your dogs communicating, that does mean that something vile may be afoot.
Come on, Jasper. Keep a stiff upper lip. Never understood that expression, stiff up a lip. What does that even mean?
It means, I guess, to...
What does it mean?
I don't know.
Should I?
Shiro is taking a vow of silence as well.
Hmm?
What does the whole keep a stiff upper lip expression even mean?
It's kind of similar to keep calm, carry on, I guess, where it's like, don't complain, just get on with it. Unfortunately, that's brought about some toxic results in recent years.
Yeah, I get that. It's just most like okay, that's cool, but what does it have to do with lips and stiff up?
I guess they're trying to say keep your chin up. I've never actually looked up the phrase. I know what it means, but I've never looked up why it's written that way.
I guess because a stiff upper lip tends to come with keeping your chin up.
Okay, lips. Let's think about this. Out of all people, who could have possibly stolen the puppies? I mean, it's not like we know someone.
The two old women sitting on the bench in the park earlier, it was clearly them.
Yes,
it's not I mean, it's not like we know this crazy woman who has already looked at these puppies with insane megalomaniacal psychopathic eyes or anything.
Right.
So yeah, who could it be?
I've got it. The TV news reporter.
Aha.
So were they in cahoots with the two women earlier from the park that Roy mentioned?
Good job, Sherlock.
Of course, it all makes sense, and they're trying to pin it on Cruella de Vil. It's the perfect crime. Oh God, Pedro.
It's elementary, my dear Jova.
Pedro, imagine, what if the prequel tries to say that Cruella was actually the fall guy for the whole puppies being captured, and it was actually someone else's plan?
That's the thing, Jova. I'm not very optimistic, but sure, it would be cool, I guess.
Wait. You think it would be cool if it turned out that Crow was just the fall guy for this whole thing and she was never trying to kill the puppies?
Oh, that. No, sorry, I misunderstood what you said. No. Well, that's the thing, Jova. Considering current live-action Disney, I wouldn't put it past them. Okay.
Okay, Crow, I think you may have a problem.
Basically, Jibbs, by this point, they've stolen a total of 99. Now, let me ask you something, Jibbs. What's 99 plus 2?
Yeah, I know. 101.
Oh, yeah, and now this is the sequence where the dogs, for some reason, know Morse code.
It's basically sort of like the Twilight bark, as they call it.
Alright, so, okay, the consensus for this movie on Rotten Tomatoes, it has a 42% critical score and 40% audience score, with the consensus, neat performance from Glenn Close aside, 101 Dalmatians is a bland, pointless remake.
Yeah, that's one point I'm gonna have to disagree with the critics. I honestly feel like all the actors do a pretty good job, and they've been having a good enough time so far with the movie.
So for a second there, Joe, I thought you were going to say, all remakes are bland and pointless.
Well, that's the thing, Joe. I don't think that's so much what they mean. Maybe maximum they said pointless, as in, like, it doesn't differ enough from the original to justify its existence. I think that's what they mean.
Oh, so is this back when critics were calling out the remakes for being pointless? That's
well, to be fair, they did that for the Lion King remake, to be fair.
Yeah, but I think that's mainly because that remake was pretty much just, Lion King verbatim.
They also trashed on the Dumbo remake.
Oh, they did?
They did, yes.
Huh. Okay, then.
That's the thing, Java. Apparently, even the critics are tired of the remakes, it seems.
Okay, then.
Let me actually check while I'm at it. Might as well, why not?
Well, I don't know. I mean, John Hughes written stuff where something should be impossible in a city of a giant size, and yet it still happens.
Yeah. Honestly, a lot of scenes in this movie do feel like homages to Home Alone. Ah, the city of London.
Well, it doesn't look too bad during nighttime, it seems.
Mm-hmm. Looks pretty nice, actually.
It's just during the day. Night hides it.
Yeah. How ironic. A city that looks better at night.
Sorry, level 5. Your depiction of London is bullshit.
Well, Mr. Dwebs, I wanted to make the game look nice and pleasant.
Yeah, but it's not accurate. I'm insulted.
You know, now I'm wondering...
Well, considering I'm doing a cartoonish take on the whole thing, I figured that wouldn't really matter.
You know, now that...
Well, there's been plenty of cartoonish London that still makes it look like a hellhole.
You know, now I think about it, what would a crossover between 101 Dalmatians and Professor Layton be like?
We've already got that. It's called Layton's Mystery Journey.
Yeah.
Technically, yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's a case in both the anime and the game that involves puppies.
Mm-hmm.
So. Well, with Cat, it makes entirely sense to have something like that, considering Cat's personality.
So even all the other animals are helping.
Apparently, this is secretly a Babe sequel.
Well, that's how it was in the original movie as well, Shira. All the animals.
Yeah, I just remembered as I said it.
Let me actually.
Ah,
check
even the raccoon.
The interesting thing is that they actually did crap on the original Maleficent, which I know. Again, we've already addressed. It's not a remake, I know, but technically was the one that kind of kickstarted this whole thing.
Well,
success.
Technically, that was kind of Alice in Wonderland that kickstarted the live-action Disney remake trend in 2010.
I guess you can say that, but
especially since it was successful and did get a sequel.
I guess, but it was a total of 4 years between Alice and Maleficent.
Oh, but don't you see, Pedro?
What took them so long?
Disney were mobilizing their plans for their whole live-action train.
I guess.
And now, pretty much year after year, we've got a few live-action Disney remakes.
Here you go, Maleficent. Angelina Jolie's magnetic performance outshines Maleficent's dazzling... magnetic performance, debatable. Maleficent's dazzling special effects. Unfortunately, the movie around them fails to justify all that impressive effort. Yeah, seems about right.
Pretty much,
I'm a bit hesitant on the whole dazzling, the magnetic performance. Don't get me wrong, she's fine in the movie, but I wouldn't say magnetic performance.
I'd call it overall a good performance, you know what I mean? She does the best with what she is given, mind you. And, you know, lack of green skin aside, she does actually look the part.
Oh, no. I don't have a problem with Angelina Jolie. It's the movie itself that I have a problem with.
Which is a shame. It could have been a real good movie, but, well, we know how that turned out. We've done 2 commentaries of it.
Yeah, so Maleficent was in 2014.
And given how the sequel was received, I doubt we'll be getting a Maleficent 3.
Guys, remember, she was an executive producer on that movie.
Well, that's not the first time she's been a producer on a movie, so it's not like...
Maybe she could have insisted on stuff being better, but...
That's the thing, Dwebs. Honestly, for my money, the climax of Maleficent 2 is better... the best thing of these 2 movies, if you ask me, because the climax is so insane and surprisingly violent.
Yeah,
that it's kind of worth it.
that's been like the main
Don't get me
consensus
wrong,
that
the rest of the movie is garbage. The rest of the movie is complete garbage, and it's just that the climax is so insane, over the top, and surprisingly violent.
By the
full of
way-
deaths.
By the way, Pedro, is it true what people say that Maleficent 2 is basically Avatar, but, you know, fairy tale edition?
Well, that's more so Frozen 2. That's more like Avatar.
No.
fairy tale edition,
I mean James Cameron's Avatar.
Oh, James Cameron's Avatar.
I've heard a lot of people say that Maleficent 2 is basically a lot like Avatar in the sense that, oh, you know, the natives, in this case the fairies, have to fight against the big bad humans for insert reason.
I guess you could interpret it like that, but I think that's pushing it a bit.
Anyway, I gotta say, I really do dig the set design of this movie. It's got that very whimsical feel, but still just realistic enough to justify it being live action.
This particular period of Hollywood, to me, was a kind of a golden age of visual effects. Why? Because it was around this time where where filmmakers were starting to get a more firm grasp on what good CG stuff could bring, while at the same time doing practical effects for everything that didn't require CGI to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this movie is definitely a good example of it. Like, you know, in terms of being a remake of the animated classic, it goes to great lengths to, you know, replicate a lot of the stuff in live action, but change up enough to the point where I feel like I could justify watching this back to back with the original 101 Dalmatians. Like,
Sure.
Yeah.
No, a lot of movies back in this period of the mid-90s had a lot of great technical aspects to them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I cannot stand James Cameron's Titanic, but I will admit that it's a technical masterpiece.
Oh, yes, it is.
Just as a shame it completely craps on the memory of certain real-life people from that disaster, but that's a topic for another day.
That bit is definitely unfortunate.
Movies and docudrama series do that, though. Like, they kind of romanticize things way too much.
That's the thing. That's the thing, Shiro. They literally have the first, and like the first.
The
what's
first
the name
mate.
Of the guy who got under the captain. What's his name again?
The first mate, you mean? Oh God.
First mate, is that what it's called?
That's
I don't
first
know.
mate. First mate. Yeah, first mate. Thank you. They literally have the first mate kill himself, even though that's not at all what happened. You know, and James Cameron actually had to apologize to the family of the Titanic's first mate because.
Well, yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Because like it was such a disrespect to, because he was an actual hero who managed to get a lot of people on the lifeboats, you know. So it was a massive disrespect that literally to this day just makes me go, "Fuck off, James! Fuck off."
Okay.
Seriously.
I didn't know that, and that's terrible.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, the Titanic movie was made in a period where some things weren't all as clear as they were about the Titanic lore and whatnot, you know.
I've always been aware of, like I just said, the romanticization of that kind of thing in media, but geez.
I chalk that up to bad research being done, and trust me, that still is a problem. Other than that, though...
Yeah, it's not an excuse.
Yeah, other than that historical inaccuracy, though, I still do like the movie. Is it perfect? No, but I do feel like that it does capture the tragedy and sense of it, and a lot of the famous historical figures from it do actually get a proper show up. Oh, that's cute.
Mm-hmm. Well, in the meantime, for Cinderella, refreshingly traditional in a revisionist era. Look at that, Jova. Refreshingly traditional in a revisionist era.
Huh.
What happened to the critics who said this? Because nowadays it's like the opposite.
Yeah. Critics who said it like it is.
Kenneth Branagh's Cinderella proves Disney hasn't lost any of its old-fashioned magic.
So yeah, one thing this movie does bring up a bit more is about that Cruella may or may not be under suspicion for killing that Siberian tiger. This actually ties things a bit better, whereas in the animated movie it was kinda, sorta, possibly a thing with her and the police. Wasn't clear. Here it is more clear, though.
Mm-hmm.
And she's having Skinner come to do the job.
Huh. Interesting. The 101. Sorry, the 102 Dalmatians movie is counted on Wikipedia as part of the remakes, even though it is not a remake. It's an original sequel to the remake.
That's very strange.
I guess they consider it part of the remakes because it's a sequel to one of the remakes.
I guess, but it's technically
That's a
not
weird technicality.
But the sequel is technically not a remake.
Hold
It's an
on.
original film.
Let me see if Maleficent 2 is also counted there. Yeah, it is.
Maleficent shouldn't even be counted, period. But whatever.
Oh, here it is. It took you this long.
Wait.
Well, okay, give him credit. Okay.
Relative abilities.
You know what? To give Anita and Roger credit, they never even found out in the original film, so technically this is a step up.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to give it that. Like, no. Why you think, Anita?
It's quite funny, actually. No, I'm not mad at this.
What could have possibly made you think that?
Anyway, let's see. In terms of upcoming live-action Disney projects, there's Mulan, Cruella, The Little Mermaid, a movie called Peter Pan and Wendy, an untitled The Jungle Book sequel, also done by Jon Favreau.
Peter Pan and Wendy. Based on that name, I'm assuming they're probably gonna try and make, her share the spotlight with Peter most of the time, because
Well,
strong character and crap.
Well, I mean, could it be any worse than Pan?
Well, being better than Pan is not exactly an achievement now, is it?
Let's see. After that, there's going to be a Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs project.
I mean, I enjoy that film, but it's still terrible.
Isn't that the Red Shoes story that they're remaking? Actually,
What? No. It's just titled Snow White and the Seven Dwarves. No details on it. The director's going to be our good old pal, Mark Webb.
Oh, goody.
Interestingly enough. Then after that, there's going to be...
Which one's Mark Webb doing?
Well, Mark Webb, Snow White. Well, Mark Webb is great at doing romance, so that's fine by me.
I mean, he's directing the upcoming remake of Your Name.
Let's see. After that, wait. There's going to be a live-action remake of Your Name.
Your Name is a very popular movie, Jova.
Yeah, in fact,
outside of Japan.
The Japanese actually insisted on it being a Western remake, and in terms of directors, you could do a lot worse than Mark Webb, because you know how good he is with romance.
Yeah, I can believe that. Let's see. After that, there's going to be a live-action Pinocchio movie directed by Robert Zemeckis.
Hopefully, it's better than Geppetto.
Geppetto! That movie I hear was terrible.
Well, I don't say it was terrible per se, but it was very sloppy. I'll just put it that way.
Then there will be a live-action The Sword and the Stone movie.
I love that movie.
Isn't there going to be a live-action Black Cauldron as well?
Yes, they've already confirmed.
Yes, there will be. There will be a live-action Robin Hood based
on... I think they also confirmed that there's going to be a Hunchback remake as well, which I'm incredibly skeptical of, because there's no way they're going to allow what Frollo did in the original to go by in the new one.
Well, considering what they did... I know
you disagree, Jova, but I'm skeptical.
Considering what they did in Maleficent, I wouldn't be surprised if they keep him intact.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Anyway, apparently there's also going to be an Aladdin spin-off movie.
Yeah, we already knew that. Wasn't it a sequel, actually?
Well, yes, it's a sequel, but also going to be a spin-off. Yeah, both of those things. A live-action Lilo and Stitch movie. Oh, okay, here we go.
They're basically going to remake all of them, basically.
And then there's going to be a Rose Red movie. That's the one you were thinking of, regarding Snow White. Then there's going to be a live-action Bambi movie. And finally, a live-action Hercules movie is the last of the potential projects mentioned.
And by live-action Bambi movie, we mean an animated film that proclaims to be live-action, but there's no actual live-action, it's all animated CG. So.
Oh, we may also be getting a live-action film about Tinkerbell, and a live-action spin-off of Prince Charming titled Charming, and a prequel to Aladdin titled Genies.
Oh, so now we're getting to the point where we're removing titles from the titles. I mean, what next? Are we going to have a King Arthur movie just called Arthur? I mean, that will confuse a lot of people. They'll think it's a live-action adaptation of the cartoon Arthur.
Cute.
Going back to the history of the critical reception, though, after Cinderella was Jungle Book in 2016, where critics said, as lovely to behold as it is engrossing to watch, the Jungle Book is the rare remake that actually improves upon its predecessors, all setting a new standard for CGI. There you go.
Yeah, that was back when, Disney live-action remakes were actually filling us with hope. Oh snap, Lucky got left behind!
I'm sure he'll be fine.
Totally.
After that was Looking for the Looking Glass. Let's see how that one was. Alice Potts.
I see even over in England raccoons are bastards.
Yes. 2016 here.
Le Style de Ville.
Ooh, 29%. That's little. Let's see what they say.
How's that for your legacy, Corolla? Gets pissed on.
Uh-oh.
You're very bad at your jobs.
My wide-angle lens is about to bust.
Ooh.
Anyway.
Yeah. Okay. I guess this is the part where John Hughes goes home alone on us now.
Probably.
Maybe this was practice for Home Alone 3, in which case it was horrible practice, but still.
Why? Because this film was good and Home Alone 3 was garbage?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Home Alone 3 was crap, but I don't think this film's all that much better. The film's issue to me is that it's just there.
Whoa.
I mean, it's not hurting anybody, but I mean, I'm not going to speak for all of us combined, but
oh god,
just
that's
for me,
CGI. Oh god, that's
just
CGI.
For me, yeah, especially
terrible.
With scenes like this.
Yeah, that CGI was terrible.
I don't think we have to see it again, luckily.
Thank you for proving my point, movie.
Can you imagine if we had to watch that 99 times?
Like,
Oh,
seriously, seriously, that puppy became a lot more plasticky for a full 5 seconds there.
I appreciate that that's probably why they decided to do this, in the dark, but still, it still didn't come out great.
Anyway, Through the Looking Glass, they said, Alice Through the Looking Glass is just as visually impressive as its predecessor, but that isn't enough to cover for its underwhelming story that fails to live up to its classic characters. Yeah, pretty much. Oh, Beauty and the Beast. I enjoyed that remake. To be fair.
I also enjoyed that remake.
What remake? Sorry.
The
Beauty and the Beast remake.
I like the remake.
I haven't.
But,
I haven't seen that one. Is that the one where Emma Watson's on auto-tune?
Yes.
Yeah,
anyway, I like the movie, but I won't deny that is definitely where the problems with the remakes were starting to show. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's gonna leave a mark.
Oh.
It did do some it did have some improvements, like the father was an actual character for a while, that was more of a defined arc, for example.
That said, it also did have some downgrades, like Gaston's death was so underwhelming.
And the whole Gay LeFou thing was it just came across as just there to because
it was a thing, I guess. I mean,
it was phoned in. It felt phoned in execution. That's all I'll say.
Oh.
Yeah, so the critics said with an enchanting cast, beautifully crafted songs, and a painterly eye for detail, Beauty and the Beast offers a faithful yet fresh retelling that honors its beloved source material.
I also had
I'll accept it.
I also like that it explained, the events pre-movie a bit better in the beginning, I think.
Mm-hmm. And it has a fantastic new song in Evermore.
I will say this though, I do agree with some people that it was a bit weird trying to basically stow all the Beast problems onto, oh, he had a terrible upbringing as a child. Like, I don't know, that feels a bit generic.
This all does feel very Home Alone right now.
Yeah. On the subject of
it is generic, but at the same time, I don't see many angles it could have gone to explain why the person's a jerkwad at the beginning.
On the subject of we were on about a certain planned remake earlier. One reason why some people aren't too keen on a Your Name remake is that apparently it's steeped in Japanese culture. Is that really?
Honestly, Your Name is not. Yeah, it takes place in Japan, but it's not really steeped in Japanese culture. You could very easily make an adaptation that basically, like, seriously, never at any point in that movie does something, uniquely, distinctly Japanese actually happens. Aside from I guess you can kind of consider the incredibly crazy climax Japanese, because Japanese love their crazy climaxes.
Well, I mean, Mark Webb. We see Mark Webb could go crazy.
So aside from that, but even then, Western directors can have their crazy climaxes too, as proven by Maleficent too.
Remember the Itsy Bitsy Power Plant?
Oh god, that movie was terrible.
So no, I'm gonna have to disagree with that.
Okay, and here's the iconic costume that everyone remembers.
She's cosplaying as Little Red Riding Hood now.
Well, it's pretty much her most famous one, the red and black outfit.
I always prefer her original outfit from the animated film.
Oh boy, she's snapping.
Implying that she hasn't snapped before.
Okay, she was in phase 1 of snapping before. Now she's at phase 3.
Fine, I'll kill them myself.
Pretty much.
Okay, and here's the one that Jove has been curious about. That's the next one on the list. Christopher Robin. Christopher Robin may not equal AA Milne. It's Milne, right?
AA Milne.
Is it Milne? Okay.
Yeah.
Milne's stories or their animated Disney adaptations, but it should prove sweet enough for audiences seeking a little childhood magic. Yeah, I agree with that. It's fine, like me and Dev said. Next. Oh.
Trust me, House, you wouldn't like Mr. Weasley when he becomes cross with you.
Oh, hey Shiroi.
Yeah?
The next one on the list is your favorite.
What is it?
Dumbo is held partly aloft by Tim Burton's visual flair, but a crowded canvas and overstretched story leave this live-action remake more workmanlike than wondrous.
Wait.
They were too nice.
Wait. Hold on. I thought it was Tim Burton was the one directing Dumbo?
Yeah, he was. And to his credit, the technical direction is great. Like, Dumbo himself looks amazing.
Nice.
I will give the movie that. In fact, Dumbo looks exactly like the lions in Lion King should have looked like, basically.
Even when she's not speaking, she is the best thing of this movie. Well, that's one thing sheep are handy for, hiding underneath. Can you vouch for that, Shiroi? That sheep are that good for hiding underneath like the Dalmatians were, using them for. Oh snap, right, Lucky!
Oh.
Poor Lucky.
Guess today's not really his lucky day.
But Next one is, of course, the one everybody talks about. While it can take pride in its visual achievements, The Lion King is a by-the-numbers retelling that lacks the energy and heart that made the original so beloved, though for some fans that may be just enough.
Pretty much.
Well, it has an 88% audience score, so apparently, yeah.
I mean, it's not a bad movie, and I technically did have fun watching it, but I can't deny part of the reason is because it's pretty much exactly like the original.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
feel like it was a
considering
waste
who
of
wrote-
money on Disney's part.
I haven't seen The Lion King, but considering 2019, I mean, but considering who wrote it, I'm not exactly confident.
I will say this, though. It has quite possibly the most interesting use of a pile of crap in cinematic history. and I'm just gonna say it. No matter who gets ticked off by this, Timon and Pumbaa are far better in the remake than in the original. That's right, I said it.
But I have seen some clips though. But Seth Rogen can't sing.
Seth Rogen can sing, but I'm talking about the characters themselves, not the actors.
Well,
What are you on about, mate?
you ask for heat and you will get it.
Alright, so I'm not gonna
Wow.
bother with Maleficent 2, let's just...
Sucks to be you guys.
Lady and the Tramp, there you go.
Who knows what she could do to those puppies if we don't get there in time.
Mm-hmm. Here you go. Oh, Lady and the Tramp was actually a reverse. It has a 66 rating for critics, but a 50 from audiences. Lady and the Tramp's cute dogs and likable cast work well enough, but the live-action update lacks some of the magic that made the original such a delight.
I mean,
Generic opinion. Not very interesting.
I'll admit, I'm not the biggest fan of the original Lady and the Tramp, so I will ask, how could you lose the magic from the original? I mean, it's...
Well, the thing about the original Lady and the Tramp is that it was kind of like a soap opera, except a Disney movie, if that makes any sense.
And done with dogs.
Basically, yeah. Okay, that's just...
What?
Whatever.
To be
Moving
fair,
on.
that was the thing in the
Moving
original.
on.
That was the thing in the original too, Pedro.
I know, but I didn't. But seeing it in live action feels different. That's all I'll say.
Don't. Look, now we got even more puppies than our original 15 to take care of.
Can't lose the magic if it never had it. No. It's kind of like it's the reverse of what. God, what's his name? Carry on. I'll see if I can remember.
Does she just like have a sixth sense for sniffing out puppies or something?
I think so.
Yeah. Yes.
But anyway, that's what you typed. That's kind of like a reverse of Kanye West's caricature in the second South Park RPG. Like, but don't you see? I don't get inspiration. I've always had it. So
Maybe this prequel is gonna have the story be like her birthday cake was peed on by a dog and now she hates them. I don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, she is a rather petty individual, so maybe.
Yeah.
You know, the TV show implies that sort of...
Ah, get it? Petty, because dogs can be pets.
You know, the TV show, and mind you, the original TV show, not 100 Dalmatian Dolls, not 100 Dalmatian Street, the newer show. But yeah, the old show does imply that part of the reason for her complex is the sense of that, well, she had a very, very, very terrible upbringing and whatnot, and one thing she always wanted for Christmas was a puppy, but instead she just got a constant reminder that her parents don't love her.
there you go. See, Shiroi? Some people, when they have a traumatic event in their childhood involving some kind of animal, they go on to make wonderful family-friendly games like Hino. Other people become insane psychopaths who just want to murder that animal.
Yeah, if I can't have a puppy, no one can. Wahahaha.
So there you go. See, Shiroi, you like to talk about the way Hino reacts to his childhood trauma. Well, look at it this way, Shiroi. He could have become a male Cruella de Vil.
This is true.
Very true indeed.
Could you imagine? Right now? Try to imagine Hino hamming it like crazy,
like skinning cats. Wow.
Good horse.
I'm actually curious to see, curiously and morbidly curious to see what the backstory is going to be, because, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I cannot really be very confident that they're not gonna pull the Maleficent thing again, where they're gonna try to justify what she does in this one.
Well, we've already discussed that that's a popular thing to do these days, even with villains who, don't deserve it. She skins puppies alive, or has other people do it even, but still she's paying them. She's complicit.
Oh God.
She's putting out the hit, whatever you want to call it.
You want to know what's the worst possible thing they could do? Is if they do what Maleficent did and actually rewrite what happens in this movie. That's the thing about Maleficent. As a quote-unquote prequel to Sleeping Beauty, it cheats because it completely rewrites what actually happens in the story.
Oh, so basically what you're saying is they're going to pull a Last of Us Part 2, maybe.
Oh my god, guys, I just realised.
What?
Yes?
What other film have we watched that's a that is an update of something from the 1960s that's live action and it has mixed reactions from fans? And also came out in 1996. Mission Impossible.
Oh.
That face, Jesus.
Oh boy.
Lady.
Jesus.
Look, Cruella. It's very cold in here. Why don't you try this nice white jacket?
Yes. It's got all these belts and buckles and everything.
Here, we'll even draw some spots in it, for since you like them that way.
Quick! While the crazy lady's knocked out, let's get out of here! You like that, Cruella? That's what karma smells like.
Right. You might not be very smart either,
But don't you see, Miss Shira? That's because we are the traditional, good old-fashioned 60s villains who are complete buffoons who just fail at everything. Because that's comedic. That's very hilarious for the audience.
Oh! 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 Oh!
So Liz, what do you think of the great Hugh Glory having to do this scene?
Well, I mean, it's not great, but
how are you able to walk after that?
Through sheer determination and fear of their boss.
Yes, Vips?
It's not great, but he's been in worse scenes.
I found that a riot.
Maybe
Still
you
more.
should retire.
I'll look at it this way. There's still more dignified than his role in Tomorrowland.
Well, yeah, that's partly what I meant.
Critical. Oh,
Oh,
snap. She literally roared right there. Okay, if she ever had it, she has completely 100% lost it now.
What is that stuff? I didn't read the thing.
Yeah, leftovers, let's call it.
Yeah.
All you can pretty much do is just walk aimlessly after that last bit.
Honestly, I think going with the police is probably better for you than where you're gonna end
Yeah,
up.
I know.
Just go with them.
That's actually what they said. Thank the Lord, we're saved.
What if they end up in the same prison as her?
That would require a co-ed prison.
Oh.
Oh, great. So you're in with the penguin.
The Skinner.
Hey, he just looks like the penguin in that shot.
The transformation is complete. You are completely loco now. How much you want to bet that she's really a big fan of the movie Animal Farm?
Or maybe she's a fan of Babe.
But the pig wins, technically.
I mean, there's a pig, not a dog, so therefore she'll be on the pig
Ooh!
side.
Wow, even the horse doesn't like you. Ooh, right in the manure pit. Even the chickens are laughing.
Chicken noises already sound like laughing though anyway, which is...
Hey, Corella.
You ready to give up yet? You're a crime against fashion.
Yes.
And a crime in general, so...
That reminds me, actually, I'll have to see. I don't. I'll have to. I'm gonna look up how good the Portuguese dub of this movie was, because I'm willing to. I think I know who probably they cast as Cruella.
Well, the movie's audio is Portuguese audio is available, at least on my Disney Plus.
Well, yeah, it's European. You're on European Disney Plus, so obviously it would
It's
be.
available on mine too, actually. The Euro Portuguese one.
Are you sure does it say European or does it just say Portuguese?
It just says Portuguese. Is that how you say it?
No. Okay. Does it spell?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Just type it in the chat so I can read
Oh, they found 100, but wait, hold on. Wouldn't that mean one's missing?
No. 2 are missing, Joe. We're getting a sequel, remember?
Dwib's different one in that one.
So what happens exactly in the sequel? Does a new puppy get born? Is that what happens?
Okay, let me put it like this. A new batch of puppies connected to one of the offspring of Pongo and Perdita, particularly Dipstick. As for the reason there's 102 involved, well, let's just say that has to do with the new coat Corella has in mind.
Okay.
Oh, the Morons Olympics.
There you go.
Well, yeah, that's just Portuguese.
It doesn't say whether it's.
Okay, I love that bit. Who won the gold? She can't even get herself a smoke.
Wow.
Skunk!
No, you're suffering now.
Well, okay.
They needed all those cars for 4 people.
Oh, it was a manhunt.
Oh,
Okay.
they're gathering up all the Dalmatians.
Maybe they went there because they didn't know where the dogs were until the end. Maybe they went there expecting to pick up a shit ton of dogs.
Possibly, yeah. Well, okay.
I mean, they technically have, so yeah.
Well, guys, at least no matter what the prequel movie says, Corella still has technically gotten her karma and comeuppance as per this film, so yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, my guess, Webs, is that American Disney Plus has the Brazilian one, because, you know, Brazil is from the South America, whereas the European ones have the European one.
Yeah.
They'll have to go to the pound, or they'll be put down.
Well, but okay, unlike I'm sure I'm not 100% sure, but unlike America, we are a bit less like we tend to operate with the more of the no-kill kind of thing, whereas a lot of places in America would do that.
Really, Shuri, because that "please give us a pound or we'll pull the trigger" commercial really seems to suggest otherwise.
Yeah.
I can assure you, in America, we never have literally threatened to kill a dog unless you give us money.
You know, Shiroi, I'm really
Well, I mean,
tempted.
PETA exists, so you know.
You know, Shiroi, your comments just made me really, really tempted to change my next movie pick.
Oh?
Oh, really?
Wait.
For
So
the Pound Puppies movie.
Oh, the Pound Puppies
I've heard of
movie.
that. I've never seen
There's
that.
literally a song, Shiroi, where dogs are literally singing, "Let's go to the pound.
Wow, bro.
Let's go to the pound."
Why would they run for that? What the fuck?
Oh, Shuri, that was back when the pound was advertised as being a wonderful thing. It has to do with
Like,
a toy.
like I'm absolutely sure we have some dodgy shelters here, but I know America tends to have more of a reputation from what I've read.
Oh,
And
Corella
look,
DeVille
guys,
arrested
all
in
the
police.
puppies are back.
Corella DeVille arrested in police stone raid.
So
And
did she escape?
Get it? The video game ends up being based off of the Disney look for them. Okay, I'll admit that actually is a neat homage, you know.
I actually want to hear what the kid says this time.
Yeah. Oh, and the dogs are there. All of them.
Wow, gameplay-wise, it looks like one of the Yugo games. It looks so overly simplistic.
Wait, watch out for the dynamite. Oh, sinister laughter. Ha! A little throwback to the original animation for Corella.
Oh.
There you go. All the game needed was some explosions.
That and an insane villain of which
So
he
why not get
based it.
Michael Bay to direct the game?
Well, it needed good explosions and a good villain.
I guess.
Yes.
How exactly? See, this is the problem with these movies. These movies never
Oh, look
address
at that.
the
They went to
logistics
live on a
of
farm.
having 101 dogs in your house. Do you have any idea how much poop will there be everywhere?
Okay.
Well, it seems like they've bought
They don't show
Magna?
that, do they? They don't show. They don't show all the pee and all the poop everywhere, do they? Now.
Well, okay.
Who wants to see that?
Well, okay. Well, believe it.
It's my turn to say it. It will be accurate. See? Huh?
Well, okay.
Hey, so there's a difference between shit and a city.
Okay. Well, Pedro, not to worry because pretty much the sequel movie and the TV show have you covered. Like, well, with them pretty much going over why having that many dogs in, their apartment is impossible. Heck, even in this movie, they moved to the whole farm/manor out in the country where there's a lot more room for the dogs out there. So...
Which is also how the animated
Unfortunately,
101 Dalmatians 2 starts as well, I believe. They move into
Yeah.
the country with all these dogs.
Yep, pretty much.
Unfortunately, as far as I can remember, on Disney Plus, the TV show is only available in Australia, so
Wait, really?
I can't fly anywhere right now, so...
Really? That's weird. I've seen it before, actually. No, the TV show is available here.
Should be on Disney Plus.
So
Yeah,
anyway, that
it
was
is.
101 Dalmatians, 1996.
Yeah, I actually... Okay, it's been a while since I've seen it, but I had a good time with it, honestly.
Yeah, same. Obviously the highlight is Glenn Close. She's clearly having the time of her life with this
Yeah.
movie. And her hamminess is absolutely glorious to behold. So yeah, and she's a perfect live action rendition of the original villain. So yeah, definitely everything about Cruella de Vil is pretty much done perfectly.
Pretty much,
Everything
yeah.
else, for me, it's one of those things where I think this particular story works better with animation rather than live action to me, because with animation you can allow the animals to be more expressive, and while it is true that they do give a bit more stuff to the humans, like Jova said. I still kind of, I don't know, the whole video game angle that they went with this version, I don't know, I kind of prefer the the angle of the first one, to be honest. I feel like this video game thing was just a bit, I don't know, it feels like, it's not how it was in the book, and it feels a bit out of place in a story like this, if I'm going to be honest. It just feels like it was done because kids like video games now, and they don't like piano or some shit.
I'm gonna say I don't think that's the reason they changed it to that, as opposed to, kids not liking the piano angle. I think that was more so just a thing for more of a framing device of sorts here and there. And, adding on a bit more to Roger here and there.
I don't know, I think the piano was perfectly fine at doing that. And I do enjoy, I personally, like, for example, I do like the way they meet in the original better, personally, like because the animation, the comedic timing in that one is so good. But sure, it works still fine for what it is. Yeah, and like people and like the critics have said, like it's technically a pointless remake, but it at the very least does a good job in showing. It's an excuse to watch Glenn Close ham up to the camera, and that's at the very least good fun, I guess. So it works fine in that angle. Aside from that, yeah, like it's one of those movies where like it boils down to which specific take you prefer. Do you prefer the live action, this one, or the animated one? Personally, I prefer the animated one. Like if anything, because if I remember correctly, I think they actually did get British actors for that one, if I remember correctly.
I mean, they have British actors here too. Like,
but I mean for the main humans. I mean.
Well, I guess like the only two main American actors here are Jeff Daniels and Glenn Close. Like, we already agree, Glenn Close is great and Jeff Daniels is there. Pretty much everyone else is British and English here.
I guess. But yeah, it's fine. It's definitely, considering how bad the remakes have been recently, this is at the very least a good way to look at how they weren't always crap, and they it's technically pointless, but it's still a good enough way to spend an afternoon at least. So there's that. That's it for me.
Grapes, you go next.
It's meh, to be honestly. I mean, Glenn Close is good in the movie, and all the other actors are doing a very good job with what they have. But I don't know. To me, all this just comes off as like John Hughes redoing skits he did miles better years before this. You know, the electricity gag falling through the floor. I could watch Home Alone 1 and 2 for that stuff, and honestly, I enjoy it more there. I mean, honestly, the rest of the comedy isn't really all that funny either. So, yeah, sorry. Sorry, Jova. At least to me, I didn't really enjoy this one.
I'm not surprised.
Next.
I'll go next. Honestly, I enjoyed this movie. What I do acknowledge is that there are some things that were done better in the animated movie, some things done better in this movie here. The human characters, aside from Cruella, are arguably fleshed out better here, so there's that. As for the comedy, I'm gonna say that I find this movie on equal terms of comedy with the original 101 Dalmatians. Like, for as beloved as the original 101 Dalmatians is, it's not exactly Disney's ultra super duper best film, considering some of the critiques of the time itself regarding it. That said, though, the humor is definitely on point. Glenn Close is an absolute treasure in this movie. And trust me, she will only get better in 102 Dalmatians. The story is an interesting take here. It's something that definitely is highly reminiscent of the original, but has enough original stuff to separate itself out from there. Like, in terms of revitalizing 101 Dalmatians, which I guess kind of does coincide with, you know, how they were making a 101 Dalmatians TV show. Yeah, I can see why they made this movie here. And at least it feels like, you know, there was actual heart put into this, unlike a lot of current live-action Disney remakes, sadly. Very interested to see how that prequel is going to lead up into this, though. Like, the fact alone that movie is going to be a prequel to this series of movies now has my attention. It doesn't have my hopes up, but I am morbidly curious like Shiroi is. The music is absolutely a delight to listen to in this movie. Great job to the composer there. What I really appreciate, like I said before, is the set design in this movie. It looks so great to look at. Granted, the CGI puppies did not age well. The car does look nice. And Glenn Close's wardrobe for this movie is absolutely dazzling here. Figures that Glenn Close encompasses a lot of the best things of this movie. That said, the other actors are pretty well and funny in their own right. Jeff Daniels is as good as Roger. Johnson is good as Anita. And of course, Hugh Laurie and Mark Williams are great as Jasper and Horace. Like, absolutely great. Like, to the point where they're pretty much relieved to go to jail because they're sick of it. All of that was performed marvelously. New plot points here and there were added to somewhat mixed results. Overall, I'd say that this was a pretty good film. Definitely one of the better live-action Disney remakes, and you can bet I'm definitely looking forward to 102 Dalmatians. Alright, Shiroi, since it's your movie pick, close us out with your final thoughts.
Alright. Well, yeah, it's a really nice remake. I mean, the original movie wasn't something very complicated, and here it's basically the same story, but they took some very minor liberties to elaborate on some stuff, which is nice. Because the original movie was only an hour, I believe, because it was at that point of Disney where like most of the movies were just very, very short.
Oh,
It was during the time-
101 Dalmatians was made in a time where Disney weren't in worse trouble, but it was one where they were kind of making some of their movies on the cheap here, which it is kind of a bit infamous for in that sense. I'll talk more about it when we actually talk about the actual 101 Dalmatians, the animated one.
When Walt died, the people who were left at the company were kind of lost. They didn't really know what to do because basically the crew has lost their captain, basically.
Yeah.
And they had a lot of trouble in finding a new one.
It was actually trying to use something of a new animation style at the time. Again, the problem is that animation style, while good, wasn't as per se quote-unquote gorgeous compared to its predecessors, shall we say.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I found a clip from 101 to Dalmatians in Portuguese. I'll have to see how the voice is. Go ahead.
Yeah, but anyway, the whole the additions, like the video game stuff, is kind of whatever. It could be to, it could be to be relatable to the kids or whatever, but it also could be to do with the era that this remake is set in, because it is a little ambiguous, I think. I don't think it's quite the same as the original. So that could also be it.
I wonder if it was to promote the video game.
I'm not sure. But, yeah, the acting is really good. I mean, Glenn aside, everyone's really good with this. Didn't realize Hugh Laurie at the time, although I didn't really know his name at the time, so that's a given. Yeah. But
even the animals act well in this movie.
Sorry, trying to think how to word this. But the training for the dogs was really good. Like, don't really mention this kind of thing often because, like, animals tend to be more CGI at this point, but like training actual dogs for this thing must have taken a while. I mean, they still use plenty of real animals in film, of course, but this is well, dogs are very smart anyway, but yeah, it was really good. The music is also great. It's very whimsical.
Yeah.
Like, especially like the music really emphasizes Cruella's hamminess for this.
Pretty much.
Even when she's losing it a little bit. And yeah, we'll see where that goes with 102 Dalmatians anyway.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
It's like I said, 101 Dalmatians 2, the animated sequel, feels like a sequel to this movie. And then 102 Dalmatians feels like not only a sequel to this movie, but a sequel to 101 Dalmatians 2, given how that ends.
It's weird, I know.
Yeah.
Well, 102 Dalmatians came out in 2000, so...
Yes.
But yes, I wouldn't say this was a pointless remake. It was a really nice job overall. It's not amazing, but I'm glad I've seen it again. It's a nice movie. Disney's done better live-action remakes, but
their current pedigree isn't exactly giving us much better, though.
I know, but I think they did pretty good with what they had here again, especially considering, the limited nature of the original movie, which is also a fine movie in and of itself.
Oh, yes, and as you can be sure, we'll eventually have a look at that old classic.
Yes. But, yep, that's it from me for this.
All right, then. So that was 101 Dalmatians, the live-action rendition. Tune in next time for our next venture into the Disney Kingdom. Trust me, there's a lot of movies in there.
Well, obviously.
Yes.
See you next time.